Hello, all YouTubers. I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this 18th hurricane season discussion for August 9th, 2020. Before I get on with today's video, however, it would be really awesome if you guys did hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for 900 subscribers. We're almost there. We're less than 100 away from the big ultimate goal of 1,000 subscribers. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as ring the bell notification so you don't miss my next upload. Also, watching the whole video because getting to the goal of 1,000 subscribers in monetization, we're getting very close. And you guys watching the whole video will help the Weather Dude's channel out a lot. So please consider watching the whole video as well. Please do. And also like and share this video with your friends. Thank you. Now let's get on with today's video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the signs of a hyperactive 2020 Atlantic hurricane season in my 18th hurricane season discussion. And I might be wondering, wait, the Weather Dude, you just did one of these 3 days ago. Why are you doing one again? Well, I'm going to be doing one. I'm probably going to have them scheduled, one for today, one for the 11th, and one for the 13th. Because now, especially as we're starting to end the peak of the hurricane season, my goal is to start doing these hurricane season discussions a lot more often. And you guys seem to really enjoy them. So this is my 18th hurricane season discussion. Hope you guys enjoy. So just to review, to some of you that don't know, again, a La Nina watch is in effect. It has been activated a while ago, actually. And this does increase our chances of La Nina and increase our chances of a more active hurricane season. Again, La Nina watch does not guarantee La Nina, but we have some precursors, and the factors do line up for a potential La Nina during the summer and fall timeframe. Now, as my other upload for today, if you guys want to check it out after this video, I did do my first winter 2021 video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it does very well. So if you want to check it out after this video, please consider doing so. Now let's get into it here. So looking at the climatological models to review here, again, the top one, obviously this was produced by the Bureau of Meteorology, and this is the Bureau of Meteorology model at the top there. Then you got your other models that might look familiar. You got your JMA, you got your Euro model, you got your NOAA and NASA. So some models here may look familiar to you guys. Now most of the models for the month of August are trending more towards a neutral pattern. Close to La Nina, but not quite. All right, and I think that's definitely agreeable because we're starting to see a drop towards La Nina, but we're not in a La Nina yet. Although NASA has always been a little bullish here, definitely bringing us into a deeper La Nina. But that could be the case, maybe weaker La Nina towards the winter time frame, which is what I talked about in my winter video, my winter forecast. Now for September, now we start to retreat towards La Nina. I think September, maybe even October is the best chance of having a La Nina here. You see the Conducive, NASA's really in there, NOAA, UKMO, all having La Nina predicted by September, all right? And the BOM, Barometeorology model, bringing it pretty close as well. But the mean is what you really want to look at. That is the sum of all these models. And you can see that it's bringing it right about 0.8 degrees below average, which is very, very, that's like a kind of like a weaker La Nina, but it's right on the verge between a weak and a moderate La Nina. All right, so looking at October now, keep in mind, we do have Invest 95L out in the tropics, so hopefully tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this, today is August 9th when I'm doing this video, so hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to do a video on Invest 95L and how could it strengthen into a tropical storm, maybe a low-end hurricane. All right, it's certainly possible. All right, so hopefully that video will be coming out tomorrow. But looking at October, you can see a lot more models, the BOM, Conducive, NASA, NOAA, UKMO, as well as the average of all these models is well into a La Nina here. With Euro, JMA, and Meteo kind of in the back of the pack here, but definitely by November, all right, we definitely see that a lot of models do go into a deeper La Nina, and again, this is by Australian standards. A half a degree below average will be American standards, which is right about here. Like I said, it kind of depends. Do you like looking at the Australian method more? That'd be like a comment you guys can drop in the comment section. Do you like looking at the Australian version of the NSO? Like the Nina 3-4 regions better? Do you like the Australian version or the American version? So the American version has La Nina start at 0.5 degrees below average again, and Australia is 0.8. So let me know in the comments which one you prefer better. Honestly, I think both methods are fine. Both nations are fine. Okay, either way, they both signal. Both the U.S. and Australia both can signal whether it's 0.5 or 0.8 can signal a potential La Nina / El Nino depending on the year. Now here are some, they kind of like we call the spaghetti models here, right? So some models go one way, some go the other way. That's why it's nice to have that green line in the middle. And what that does is provides us a mean, kind of like we saw just earlier, of a sum up of all these spaghetti mountains, because the cone goes way out here this way. So this kind of gives us a good sum here, kind of like a middle point of what we could be seeing. And notice how by October and November, we go right into a La Nina here, and then back up to a neutral pattern just in time for winter time. All right. So that's kind of like what I also go over during in the winter forecast video. But before they were, like if you look a couple hurricane season videos ago, you definitely see that we did have a deeper drop into a La Nina. It was kind of like a deeper drop and it was going more this way. Now it's looking, it might skim La Nina and then come quickly back up. So we'll see about that. All right. But looking at the Nino 3-4 probabilities, again, we still have a good probability, very good probability for La Nina. Actually, the probability for La Nina is greater than neutral. All right. Oops, sorry about that, guys. During the month of October. So when we see a greater probability for La Nina, then we do neutral. And then it's like 44-55, and then the La Nina chances kind of drop as we head through November, December, because now we're starting to go in the uptick back towards a neutral pattern, possibly. But as of right now, it definitely looks like neutral, all right, with about 0.5 degrees below average. But notice how it quickly drops. Just pay attention, because it could drop quick. And conditions will be getting conducive day by day here, more conducive for tropical development. As you can see, we already have Invest 95L that pretty much came out of nowhere out in the tropics closer to Africa. All right, so we'll be watching the La Nina probabilities as well. Now, here are the Nino 3-4 SST anomalies. All right, so looking at the month of August, we got 0.6 degrees below average, dropping to 0.9 by October, and even down to 1 by December. All right, I usually include 3 different months on these. I didn't want to include December because it's not part of hurricane season, but I didn't just want to leave, August, October, and then leave out December because skips every 2 months. There's no November for this. But you can see that we're definitely trending downward as we head through August, October. The later part of the hurricane season is where we're in now, like in the middle. Then towards the end of the hurricane season, we continue to fall towards a La Nina, not guaranteeing one yet. And then eventually December, that's when we kind of reach like our peak according to this, our peak low point down at 1 degree below average. Now we definitely have some updated ocean temperature graphs. Since Isaias passed through, we definitely had some cooler waters off the southeast coast, but that quickly changed. We are definitely back to above average sea surface temperatures off the southeast coast. The northern part of the Gulf of Mexico is really far above average, but the central part's not bad. All right, south central part we got average, but all around that we got some warmer than average waters for the Gulf of Mexico. Caribbean, as always, doing well here with some above average water, but not always, but it's been doing well the whole season, as well as parts of the western tropical Atlantic out by Bermuda and surrounding it. We got some well above average ocean temperatures as well. Look at the Gulf of Mexico. A hot spot here would be the west coast of Florida and maybe even New Orleans. Maybe those 2 spots could be getting close to 88-degree waters, maybe even a little bit more. All right, so that's like your classic bath water there. Much of the Gulf of Mexico, however, well above 30 degrees Celsius, which is above 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Especially the northern part of the Caribbean is definitely warmer than the eastern and southern part of the Caribbean. But still, the western tropical Atlantic is starting to get really warm here, well into the upper 20s in terms of our ocean water in Celsius. So getting well into the mid to upper 80s here. Now, this is off by Africa. As you can see, here's the Cape Verde Islands. Here is the coast of Africa. Now, if you guys have been watching my hurricane season discussions for a while, all 17 of my previous ones, you guys knew that, especially, I think it was like my 13th, 14th, through my 15th video, you just kind of noticed that we've been back and forth. All right, we got some cooler waters and warmer waters, but now it looks like we're starting to see a turn for warmer waters out in the tropical Atlantic, and that's where Invest 95L is starting to develop. As you can see, where 95L has moved through already, just like what happened with Isaias, we're seeing some cooler waters behind the tropical wave, you would call it, but ahead of it, in front of it, during its path, some warmer waters in store here throughout the entire duration of this storm, most likely. And looking at the actual ocean water temperatures, like I said, in those last few videos, it's going to expand farther and farther to the north and east, and it is doing that. Okay, that 80-degree line, which is indicated by the yellow, where 95L is definitely seeing some 80-degree plus waters out by Africa. All right, so then once it tracks into the tropical Atlantic, whether it goes north, maybe to some slightly cooler waters, maybe a southern track, maybe through some warmer waters, but either way, there's a wide envelope. Okay, and then it kind of just expands out. We got some warmer water out in the tropical Atlantic. It's definitely really improving from where this stood a month ago. So look at the Caribbean. Again, we've been up here for a while. We're on a downtrend right now, but we're still over a half a degree above average for the entire Caribbean. All right, looking at the MDR as a whole, as you guys may or may not know, the MDR region, let's just use this map here, is kind of like where we're starting to see tropical systems form this time of year, including 95L that's currently out in the Atlantic. All right, this main development region right here is also above average by nearly a half a degree, and we are on an uptrend for the MDR region in the Atlantic. We're also on an uptrend for the North Atlantic, and keep in mind, like I always say, this includes Greenland. So if this is starting to go above average like it has been, this is definitely saying something here. All right, so now let's take a look at the East Tropical Atlantic. Now the MDR region, like I said, is kind of like this more narrow region where tropical cyclones can develop off the coast of Africa later on in the hurricane season. But the East Tropical Atlantic is basically the whole East Tropical Atlantic here as a whole. How are we looking here? Well, it's definitely on a big uptrend, more than a third of a degree above average, and that's Celsius. Okay, so it's a lot more in Fahrenheit. You can see we're definitely on an uptrend here over the past couple days. So the East Tropical Atlantic is looking warm, but look what's going down. And this is a sign that we're heading towards a La Nina now. Again, we saw a big drop towards the end of May. Then it started to go back up and dropped a little bit. Then we on a big increase back to neutral for the Nino 3-4 region. Now we're back down to 0.4 degrees below average, which technically is neutral. Once we get past 0.5, going down to 0.8, that's really where we're starting to get into that weaker La Nina region. But we're getting pretty darn close to a La Nina now. We're definitely on the bottom end of a neutral, close to a La Nina. Now, this is what I really wanted to show you guys. So this is basically like this is why, you might have saw this maybe in the thumbnail. This is why, all right, we can see a big tropical outbreak. And no, this is not clickbait. All right, hopefully you are watching, to this point, and beyond this point, this is not clickbait. I did show you guys this in the thumbnail. So, or a picture similar to this. You'll see another one. So this is the time frame of August 9th through August 16th, and this is basically looking at the rising and the sinking motion of the air. Where you have these more, these peach and orange and red colors, that's where you see some sinking air motion, some drier air, not as convective, not as good for tropical development. However, in the green regions, like you see here and here, this is where you see rising air, more convective activity, and more conducive for tropical development. And when we look at from now through August 16th, this is the CFS weekly model, you can see that throughout the Eastern Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, even Northern South America, we definitely have evidence of some significant or moderate to significant rising air. So some more convection and action in the tropics. Again, Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, the Eastern Pacific, even out to the Central Pacific, even out towards Hawaii as well as over Northern Central America, or Central America down to Northern South America. So watch for some increased thunderstorm activity there for Northern South America. But look at this. August 16th through August 23rd, we can see a huge outbreak in the tropics. Not only that, all right, but look at this. We have significant, massive area of rising air motion, huge amounts of convection for tropical activity. But then when you go out just to the left here, out towards, the Middle East, it's the exact opposite. It's just as significant, but it's the exact opposite. We have significant sinking air motion and suppressed thunderstorm activity and less conducive conditions for tropical development. So it's a huge difference on the other side of the world here. But notice what happens. This books its way to the east, so does this. Watch this. Watch as we head through the 23rd to the 30th. Now look what happens. So this big, huge green blob you just saw moves east, which is technically now moving over here. It's technically moving east. So the Eastern Pacific, Gulf of Mexico, much of the tropical Atlantic now is still in significant rising air motion through the 30th of August. We still got the Central Pacific and the Middle East parts, like China and Australia and India as well, still in that significant sinking air motion. And then out towards Africa, which is basically like right over here, we got our significant rising air motion. And finally, August 30th through September 6th, we still see some average conditions in the Atlantic. The East Tropical Atlantic, maybe still some rising air motion, but it's kind of moving east. This is moving eastward right here. This is also moving eastward, so we'll see if that gets to the Atlantic Ocean here. But still the Central Pacific, even the Eastern Pacific now, still some sinking air motion, August 30th through September 6th, that can contribute to less tropical development. And then over Africa, starting to head into Europe now, that's where we have our significant rising air motion. So that's what I really wanted to show to you guys. I may have showed you briefly before, And I don't remember which hurricane season video it was, but hopefully this one, hopefully I really showed you that map better than I did last time, and hopefully you guys got a better idea of what we could be seeing in the coming weeks. Now look at the tropical intensity index. This is only as of right now how good are conditions for development. And central, eastern, northeastern Gulf of Mexico, off the southeast coast, western Atlantic, as well as the eastern Caribbean, some highly favorable conditions for development, but the central Caribbean, then Bay Campeche, southwestern Gulf, maybe not so much. All right, but still it's August, right? Conditions are always conducive for development. So if they're a little bit unconducive, all right, they can still generate a tropical storm. It just may not be as strong because August and September can really support some tropical cyclones, unless we have an El Nino pattern. It may not be the case. So looking at August 8th here, this was as of yesterday, the latest map here. This is saying I show this to you guys pretty much every single hurricane season video. How far underwater can we get those 80-degree water temperatures? Basically, I'll explain it this way. The farther underwater, the deeper the color, the better for hurricane development. And you can see in the northwestern Caribbean, that's certainly the case here. We can go 450, 500 feet plus below the ocean surface and still see waters of 80 degrees or more. And this is including the surface. Anywhere from the surface down 400 or 500 feet below sea level, still find some 80-degree waters. When you have the sea subsurface, 80 degrees plus, that can really feed even more energy into the tropical cyclone. So that's definitely what you want to see. Now look at the tropical cyclone heat potential. All right, you can see through the northern Caribbean some significant tropical cyclonic heat, but even elsewhere through the Caribbean, still a lot of tropical cyclonic heat. And looking into the Gulf of Mexico, again, we're starting to see this yellow and orange start to expand a little bit. It wasn't really quite there before, so we're starting to see some improvement conditions, maybe mostly, I would say about 175, 300 feet below the ocean surface, finding some 80-degree waters. But that blue region, we may not even go 100 feet below the ocean surface and find 80-degree waters, which is that's like that little, I wouldn't say cold spot, but it's kind of like we have some less heat energy in this one little spot in the Gulf of Mexico, which is just outside the Gulf Stream, because the Gulf Stream actually goes kind of like this. So this is where the energy via the Gulf Stream is spilling into the Gulf of Mexico, but we still have a lot of tropical cyclonic heat, western Gulf, northeastern Gulf, you name it. Now, looking at the dry air, again, here is Invest 95L. Let me highlight it here. It's trying its best to avoid the dry air. It's doing a pretty good job, but it's eventually going to have to run into some dry air. We'll see if that'll fade away before the storm will rise. But we've still been seeing some dry air currents move through the tropical Atlantic, but they've been a lot less frequent lately, less consistent, not like they used to be. But the West Tropical Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and much of the Caribbean, not too much dry air there. So watch out for that for tropical development. Now, looking at the wind shear, out where 95L is, it's not too bad. Matter of fact, it's less than 20 knots. All right, so not bad wind shear at all. But the Caribbean, that's why the southwestern Gulf and the Caribbean are not conducive for development, as you saw a few maps ago, is because we do have some wind shear. But the northern Gulf and the West Tropical Atlantic, and even the East Tropical Atlantic, out by the Cabo Verde Islands, both places where we're seeing some very, very low wind shear right now, well below 15 knots or so, which is definitely good for development of tropical cyclones. Less wind shear, the better. Again, it's kind of opposite of what we see with severe weather, like tornadoes. Now, again, here's your tropical cyclone heat potential. It's definitely looking like it's a lot here for the Caribbean. And you can see going up the Gulf Stream, we got some more tropical cyclonic heat, even in the western Gulf as well. And look at the Caribbean, a little bit below average for shear, as well as the tropical Atlantic, which is obviously a good sign for tropical development. Now, just going to go through this real quick, the 11th through the 16th of August, we're starting to see a little bit more wind shear build up in the tropical Atlantic, but look at this. Look what's brewing down south. This could move north. This is kind of like air mass of some less wind shear, kind of like where 95L is now, but this is the 17th through the 22nd of August, so 95L will be long gone by then. But maybe this blue could try to work its way north, some less wind shear, below average shear, maybe could yield the tropical development possibly. Then by the time you head through the 20th through the 25th of August, now it's more average wind shear through the tropical Atlantic. And obviously, you can't go wrong with average conditions. Now, again, look at the hurricane season forecast. This is additional on top of what we already have had so far. 11 to 14 named storms additional, 6 to 10 hurricanes, 3 to 6 major hurricanes. This could be a very active hurricane season. Now, in an entire season, we usually see 12 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. All right, so again, pay attention to the steering flow. I show you guys this all the time. This is the steering flow that 95L could take. Maybe not towards the United States yet. We don't know that for sure, but that's what Isaias and Hannah took. Maybe 95L could follow in their footsteps, or the high could be, over here, and it could actually trek out to sea. That's a possibility as well. So stay tuned here for the latest hurricane updates. Please check out, again, my winter forecast, my first winter forecast after this video finishes here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time, catch you guys next video.